telecommunication discussions, basically, policy and so on. And then the D, which is the development track for all of the new standards and things like that they're going to work on. You've got here some different ITU regions. Well, you can see that it's, again, you know, every region has a sort of secretariat. When you go to ITU conferences, it becomes very political. You find that one group does everything against the other group, and they just, it's like politics, isn't it? Because the ITU is part of the United Nations. I mean, it's all, I mean, it's under UN mandates and things, so it becomes very, very political.
To make it even more confusing, the Russians are also members of the Europeans.
Correct, yes. and it's interesting because the Europeans have also got another group that they've created, which is everyone apart from the Russians. Not that they have anything against the Russians, but, you know, and having been in these meetings, it's like, let's talk about everything before the Russians they get here at 12, so, okay, and then the Russians come in, okay, hi everyone, hey! So, have you made decisions? No. Let's talk. But that's, you know, that's the ITU for you, by the way. It's really the reality of things. Let's move on. So, they have these things called the International Telecommunication Regulations. The last, oh God, this is great. So, like, do you want to go for lunch? No, I don't. Here's the Russians, and it says UK. No, Vladimir, I'm not talking against the Russians. Thank you. Okay. Sorry about that. They do tend to listen a little bit.
They call you because they want you as a first minister for UK to the Brexit.
I should have said niet, shouldn't I? Our Russian is terrible. All right, let's move on. I'm worried about the time because Satish has done this, which I don't know if it means 5 minutes or 10 or 20 or just leave now. I don't know. 10 minutes, okay. So, 1988 treaty was the last time they had a full treaty that was signed with all the countries of the world, and that, of course, 1988 was before the internet became what it became. So there was no mention of the internet whatsoever, and it was mostly about telephony, about international charges, about charges for whatever, you know, lease lines and things like that, a few standards, and so it was all about interconnection, but nothing about the internet. And of course, some in the ITU said, well, wait a minute, we completely missed this internet thing, because back then they thought it was, you know, useless. We need to go into this now. We need to really take an interest in that. And so they decided to have an updated set of ITRs. And we're going to see that in a moment. But these are the sort of important things. So in December 2012, they had this conference that took place back then. And you've got the full listing of the whole proceeds, hundreds and hundreds of meetings. Hours and hours of meetings, and I remember being on the UK delegation at the time, just full member of the UK delegation. The first meeting we had was a pre-meeting meeting at the wonderful hour of 7 a.m. So everyone's sitting in the thing, okay, and we're all tired. It's the first day, and the guy who I just saw a couple of days ago again, Simon Toller, big guy, like this. He's been 35 years in the civil service. He's gone through I don't know how many conferences. The man has been on the front line of I don't know how many wars. He comes in and he goes, okay, remember everyone, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And this is exactly what it was, because at the end of the day, these things go on forever. It's a whole week, and what you end up is consensus by exhaustion, where you can't find consensus on something, and the idea is revisited. Okay, we'll do a half an hour break, then you come back, then we'll do another 2 hours, and another 2 hours.